Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam. For the impatient. Universally panned by critics' 2002 film Battlefield Earth 0087. The Argama flies around a bit. Jared Messasshole gets heckled in a briefing room aboard an Earth Federation battleship with a bunch of other eventual Titans members. A fellow named Jamaicon shows up and lets everyone know that the Argama is probably gonna attack some orbital defense satellites since it'll be passing by Earth. Aboard said Argama, Quattro talks about what they're gonna do, and that Ensign Rakoa Landa has volunteered for the job. Camille, meanwhile, talks about how he just up and designed a new Gundam because he's just allowed to do that now, apparently. He loses a disc with the files that show how it works, gets it back again, then runs away. Emma doesn't accept the truth that the thumb from earlier is an apocalyptic asshole that uses nerve gas on protesters because her version of reality is more convenient. Jared picks a fight with a lady he saw in space in Zeta Gundam for the Impatient Part 1 named Leela, who is apparently more important to the plot than that video led the audience to believe. She calls him out for his scrub-tier fighting skills, and Jared postures a bit, saying that he'll lead the Titans one day because he really, really badly wants to and is therefore entitled to the position. Aloof-ass Camille undresses Rakoa with his eyes for a bit, then a fighting happens as the Argama and its sister ship, the Mont Blanc, are predictably attacked. Camille goes out in the one-armed Mark II from before to protect his fantasy waifu, for which he is thanked. The Mont Blanc explodes. Rakoa makes it to Earth, and Jared, peaked in high school Mesa, is pissy that he lost to Camille again. The protagonist from the first Gundam show sunbathes in a jacket and pants as debris from the fight burns up in the atmosphere. A Titans commander chews out Jared and the other lady for being terrible leaders, then laments that new types are fake news. Camille tells the Argama's crew that he's not a soldier, despite fighting in, and killing in, several spacefaring war battles. They all go to the colony that Bask gassed to show Emma that Bask is a colossal ass. Not that she asked. Camille then gets jumped by Leela while Quattro explains space racism to Emma. Leela says, nah, fake news from the Zeons, and runs away. The crew returns to the Argama. Shortly after they regroup on the Argama, Camille and Leela engage in a fighting and he tries to convince her that the Earth Federation kinda sucks because of the Titans or whatever. Camille shows restraint by not immediately murdering Leela. Jared suggests sending in more robots to kill the child Leela is fighting, and Jamaicon says, nah. And Leela gets pissy that she's losing to a child. She then loses to a child, stabbing a lightsaber through her chest. Jared loses his shit and Camille gets a handshake. He smiles, then gets defensive because he's awful at taking compliments. The narrator mansplains humanity. Jared tries to save face by volunteering for some joystick handling. Camille yells some more, then sees that Emma and Quattro are around. Emma observes that Camille is upset that he's a good pilot, to which Camille responds with further whining. This kid really has no idea how to take a compliment, good lord. He lightens up after Emma name drops Amuro Ray as flutes play in the background. Camille then threatens Emma with a good time by saying that Char might be around on the ship too, not foreshadowing anything at all whatsoever, nope, nothing whatsoever, moving on. They then engage in cuddle yelling. Jared and his chums track down the AEUG crew on the moon. A lunar surface fighting happens, and Jared gets into a grudge match with Camille. Jared loses again. Camille gets a talking to by Quattro Dad Gina, and Camille gets salty. Quattro then chills out with a guy that straight up calls Quattro Charaznable. Oh my god, who would have guessed? I never saw this coming! It's the twist of the century! This guy hands over some satellite photos showing proof that Zeon's back, yo! Let's make this series even more complicated! Jared gets locked up for being an orders-ignoring prick, while Camille and Emma go dead colony exploring. Then Quattro, look, can we just call him Char now? No? Alright. Goes to meet with Wong Lee, owner of Anaheim Electronics, the guys that make the mobile suits for, I think, everybody? And financier of the AEUG. They plan a strategy to get the normal people on their side politically, because as we know, corporations are people, just better. Camille and Emma are intercepted, and Camille takes a Haro while they escape, because merchandising reasons. Krakoa, on Earth if you remember, tries to infiltrate a Federation base when some soldiers get handsy. Then a dude that looks a hell of a lot like Kai from the first series saves Krakoa. Oh shit, that actually is Kai! What's he been up to? He's a journalist now, apparently. Good for him. Jamaicon is less thrilled that the base Granada isn't going to help them resupply, but Anaheim will, presumably using all those space tax breaks to serve the middle class, as capitalism intended. Camille fixes the Haro, which promptly misnames him.
Amaro, how are you?
Emma gets Camille to go to the bridge for a fighting, but Camille is still somehow convinced that he's not a soldier. Emma is less than pleased. Time to slapping, 5 minutes, 12 seconds. I was getting kind of worried I wouldn't be able to use that joke again. Camille meets the kindly financier of the operation and supplier of both sides with weapons, Wong Lee, who greets children in a respectable fashion. Time to additional slapping, 1 minute, 16 seconds. A fist fight happens over the Haro. Wait, what? Continued beating happens, what the hell, man? Camille justifiably whines about Quattro and Emma not helping out when he was getting his shit kicked in. Time to slapping yet again, good lord, man. 2 minutes, 25 seconds. Turns out the AEUG's advanced military training is really just yelling and slapping.
If you want to stop getting hit, then just stop screwing up.
Quattro jumps out of a super shiny Hayaku Shiki and discusses plans. Haro acts adorable while Camille gets in his war machine, and another fighting happens. For the sake of time, Quattro and the Hayaku Shiki, Apolli, Roberto, and Camille in the Mark II attempt to steal the Titan's new suit at the Federation base Granada, but the Federation says, nah. A non-robot and a robot fighting happens. Camille comes out as a psychic to Emma. Everyone shares a giggle over the slapping. A dude floats in space while the narrator mansplains humanity again. Camille repairs the Haro while lamenting about his early onset dementia. Camille and another guy nerd out about the prototype they approved of the fancy new mobile suit they designed on the whims of the aforementioned child with early onset dementia and anger management issues. Quattro talks about the battle plans with Emma, despite clearly not being all about that life, in fear that clearly not his buddies over in the Zeons might join forces with Titans or whatever. Jamaicon and another guy talk about the mech supplier's profit strategy, while Jared talks shop with a dude about fighting because if he doesn't, a girl won't like him. Military expositing happens. Paint jobs for ships are discussed for reasons that aren't entirely clear. We're on the moon still, by the way. The Argama takes off and a space fighting begins. Jared is hype about his second, third, fourth chance at killing a miner. A missile bombardment happens. Then more robots show up and the Mark II fires off a Hellzone grenade at nothing in particular. Gross disregard for how gravity works on the moon happens. Jared screws up again because he's terrible. He tries to regroup with the other Titans pilots, but can't because he's terrible. Him and his buddy retreat as Camille and Quattro escape, because they are terrible. Camille gets excited for attacking Jaburo, and Camille gets an auditory head pat from the captain, then bitches about new type profiling. Haro acts like an adorable green cinnamon bun. I just want one so bad. They get a distress signal from bright I am slap art eye, Noah's shuttle, and Camille and Quattro head out to say hello. Quattro is gifted with a big old gun, setting up what will surely be an exciting battle, and not just posturing with approximately 6 seconds of action. Bright's shipmates share a concerning, and Android 16 is shown breathing heavily in a mobile armor. Quattro mans his big old gun and uses Camille as a distraction while the mobile armor attacks the shuttle, leaving Quattro in a tizzy over attacking civilians. They put out a fire and the threat disappears with little fanfare. Quattro is left with blue rifles. Bright, how the mighty palm has fallen. Noah sulks for losing his shuttle to the mobile armor during a chat with Quattro. Camille gets starstruck by Bright before getting glomped hardcore by Fa Yuri from way earlier in the series. She reveals that her parents were apparently kidnapped by the bespectacled thumb, but she was saved by Bright the Hand Giveth Noah. Camille has a glaring. Roll credits. Build Gunpla. See you next time.